morning and afternoon, Roxy, or nighttime over there, Roxy Soxy.
Good morning to you, Tam. I know we're on different days of the week.
That is so. I see the future.
You can tell me all about the future. How does the future look?
You know, it's interesting because for everyone who might know, who might not know, but we're in Australia right now, in a 14-day hotel quarantine. We have not left this room in 10 days, which is a really interesting exercise in your mental strength, I think.
Right.
We can go into that later. But so what I don't like about the time change is when I wake up, you guys have already done your day.
Yes.
That's what I don't like. And I'm like, I feel behind the eight ball.
Yes. And we feel I feel behind the eight ball too, because I'm going to bed and you're already starting the next day. So it's like,
I know.
I still have to sleep, and it's just like, what is going on? And I'm in Texas right now, in Dallas.
Yeah. So you're even further, like we're probably the worst time zone possible because you're almost going to bed and I just woke up pretty much. So it's like we've missed half our day together.
Yes. It is like clear literally across the world from one another. Plus I'm sweating my balls off because it's 1,000 degrees.
I love your balls. I would like to see your balls.
You can see my balls. They're in Texas.
You can see my balls. You can see my balls. And here's the thing with everyone. This is like we had another episode planned that was going to come out today. And so we can't actually screw up and because we can't make any cuts because it's like literally this comes out tomorrow. Because we just want to capitalize on the time that, we are in quarantine because I don't know if you know this, Roxy, but a lot of Australia is now in lockdown too. So I feel like we're kind of all in this together.
That is so crazy because I feel like for so long, like I felt like Australia was doing it right and like everyone was kind of living free and things were really good and the numbers were down. But I guess the variant has come through right now.
So what happens over here because there isn't, they had a whole, and I don't want to talk too much about this, they had a whole vaccine rollout plan, which kind of stopped. And so I think 2 to 4% of people here are vaccinated. So what that means is that when there is one case and because one case ended up this last week being 2, which ended up being 100 cases in New South Wales. Now to the States, 100 cases is like, well, that's not a big deal. Here it is because it can spread and there are no people who are, pretty much vaccinated. There's a certain tier, I think over 60s, there's like 2 to 4% that are vaccinated. So what they have to do is they do have to do these lockdowns, which is these snap lockdowns, so it doesn't get out of control. And what I do find pretty awesome and interesting is that when these lockdowns happen, even if people don't like it, they do comply, and it does seem to get the virus under. It doesn't seem to spread like it was spreading in the US. So the way for them to live free is to have these lockdowns and to be pretty strict about them so they can live. So the Australians can live pretty much a normal life.
So these are like micro lockdowns. These are like 2 and 3 day, like short lockdowns.
Some are 2 to 3 days. In Queensland right now, it's a 3-day lockdown. Here in New South Wales, it's a 2-week lockdown. They've already done a week. Okay. So they should be out within the next little bit. But yeah, no, they choose wherever the areas are, how bad they are, if it's a red zone or an orange zone. And look, it seemed to have worked, Australia and Sydney did not really have COVID at all. So it's been pretty awesome.
And from what I hear, lockdown is going pick one of the 3. A, amazing. B, taking it day by day. Or C, I want to jump out the window.
Could it be all 3? Am I allowed to say all 3?
You can say all 3.
Yeah, I would say that sorry, my husband is trying, my daughter's like trying to get in here because there's nowhere else to go. I would say that it is not as bad as I expected. I was really nervous about this. I think the idea is that when you're told that you can't get out of somewhere, your mental health starts to deteriorate because you feel like you're trapped or you feel like you're locked. And when my mind started to wander to those feelings, I got really anxious about it. I got really stressed to think like, oh my goodness, I can't leave. But when I don't focus on that and I focus on I'm here because it keeps other people safe, it's keeping me safe right now. And Sydney's on lockdown anyways. I'm like, I'm not missing anything. But it's like if you focus on the positive and you don't focus on the negative feeling of feeling locked in and trapped. And I feel like we can use this lesson for our daily lives in general. If you focus on the positive, then it was a much better experience. And yes, the third day in, I definitely got kind of depressed and anxious because I was like, fuck, 3 days in, we have 11 more days. How am I going to do this? But I did realize that time is kind of an illusion. Like there is no tomorrow and there's no yesterday, it's now. And we can be, I know it's so profound, and we can be happy now if we focus on what's happening now. So the kids have been great.
Okay.
They've honestly they don't even know. I don't even think they know they're in a lockdown because we've had a schedule. We wake up, we do crafts. I exercise. We've got a treadmill in. Sean then exercises. Then we have lunch. Then the baby goes down. Then Phoenix gets to watch TV. So everyone knows what they're doing throughout the day. And I think humans love schedules. So it just hasn't been as bad. And I think that when you anticipate something to be so overwhelming and so bad, it normally isn't.
And there's always wine.
There is. I've only drank 2 days.
You only drank 2 days. That's it.
Yes. I've only drank 2 because I limit your alcohol, Roxy. You would be so pissed in here.
Oh, is it true? Is it 1 bottle a day or no?
I don't know if it's a bottle or half a bottle, but because I've only ordered twice, but I think you both get half a bottle to a bottle a day. But a bottle a day is a lot of wine. I'm sorry.
It makes for a good time though, doesn't it?
Don't you think a bottle of wine a day is a lot?
I mean, it is a lot. Like, I think if I had to drink a bottle a day for like 2 weeks straight, it would be so.
Yeah, you would not be happy when you got out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what are you like eating in there? I mean, they give you food, right?
So I'm here for work and I don't know if you know this. So I just found this out recently because obviously we live in the States. So we haven't heard so much about what's been going on out here, but there's a lot of people who haven't been able to come back to Australia since 2020. So a lot of people who haven't been back to their home for almost like 1.5 to 2 years because they can't get back because there's not a lot of flights that are coming in and they're not letting a lot of people on the plane. And on our plane, there was only 20 people on the plane. So we booked economy. We had the entire economy. One person was in economy. The entire thing was to ourselves, which was so wild. But we were allowed to come back here. Back to, you asked a question about the food. We were allowed to come back here because I'm working and I'm filming here. So there was an exemption for me to be able to come back. And what the production do is they pay for the week that I'm in quarantine, which somebody, you would have either your work would have to pay or you would have to pay, by yourself. So there's one price and within that price, the food is included. But I have to tell you, Roxy, the food is like airplane food.
Oh my God. So it's just like dehydrated, like rubber.
It's just all pasta. Yeah. It's like pasta, cheese and sushi, vegetarian sushi. So like none of the food. And I feel so bad because I don't want to waste the food. So what we've been trying to do is pick things out of the food that we can like make into something else. Like pick the like tofu out of the sushi or whatever and like make it into a salad or something like that. So we don't waste, but the food is not great.
Oh gosh. Maybe the wine helps then.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to introduce tequila to the party.
I know. So we've been ordering because they have Uber Eats here. So every day we've been ordering Uber Eats. And that's kind of how we've been able to get through it.
Oh, so all the restaurants are open or
no? The restaurants are shut down, but you can do take to go.
Okay.
Which is takeaway here.
That is a lifesaver then. So you can get like all your favorites and like still kind of like ease it. Like it eases the quarantine a little bit, I
mean, it does, but I keep thinking like we're just eating and sitting in one room. Like that's not good for your body.
You're like extreme lack of vitamin D.
Yeah. I'm like, there is no vitamin D whatsoever.
Can you like stick your arm out the window and get some like sunlight?
So there's a balcony. The problem
Okay.
is the balcony is 23 stories up, and my husband hates heights. So like every time he goes in, he starts like screaming. He's like, "It's too high up! It's too high up!" So I'm like, it's not like we're sitting on the balcony having a romantic dinner at all. But we can that does help, like being able to have that fresh air.
Okay.
But that's pretty much it. You cannot leave your room. Like you cannot go downstairs. You cannot go to the pool. Like everyone's like, "Can you go to the pool?" I'm like,
Yeah.
definitely not. You can't go for a walk outside. The day that we came into this place, we shut the door and that's been it.
Oh my gosh. So there's no taking the kids out. Like the kids are
No.
like inside
Yeah.
the room.
Could you do it?
Oh my God. I mean,
With David and Bray in one room
in
for
one-
two. Well, no, we do have, we have a separate room for the kids, and we do have a small, tiny kitchen, but I'm grateful for that. Cause I know people,
Yes.
don't always get that. So I'm so grateful.
I'm trying to think if I could like seriously just be like, okay, here we go. We're going in for 2 weeks. Like the three of us. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah.
Would maybe dress up like somebody who worked at the hotel and like try to steal an escape.
There are guards outside.
Are there?
Yes.
Oh,
That's why people are like, why don't you just like go downstairs? Like, how would they know? I'm like, there are guards outside our room.
So it's like, is this like a quarantining hotel where like everybody
Yes.
is quarantining in this?
No, it's a quarantining hotel, but certain floors are quarantine floors. And those floors are only access. They don't give you a key. So you can't like come back in. So if you go, oh, I'm just going to go for a little walk, you can't go back into your room. So you can't do that. And there's guards. Like if I went outside and yelled like, hello, there'd be a guard saying, hello.
Oh my God, do it.
I know. I had to open the door the other day and it was like we vacuumed on the little stoop. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to be so mad that we vacuumed outside because it was just white when people walked in. I'm like, they're going to tell us to shut the door.
Oh my, so wait, that means there's no cleaning service, right?
So we are not allowed a vacuum from the hotel, but we can order a vacuum. The problem is the order, because everything's on lockdown, 7 to 8 days to get a vacuum in. So we haven't been able to vacuum. And I put it on my stories on my Instagram, and a little birdie dropped a vacuum off for us yesterday. I am whoever did that, thank you so much. My husband will thank you forever because it has not been, it is. We've been living in filth.
Oh my God. So like, there's no fresh towels. It's not like
nothing
hotel living, right? It's not like
no
fresh towels, like cleaning service, no room service. I mean,
And Roxy, the worst part, and I know you would hate this, you don't know where you're going until you get on the bus. So you get off the plane and they put you in a bus and then they tell you where you're going. And you might be going to a nice place. You might be going to a really crappy hotel. You might be going to one room. You might have a kitchen. You have no idea about your living situation until you get to your hotel.
So you can't even be like, okay, like I
can prepare for it. Yeah.
Oh, that would drive me up a wall because I have to know. I have to know.
Yeah.
So you were just like, okay, wherever we end up. Like
it. Yeah. It's such a lesson in lack of control.
Yes, it is. That would also drive me crazy because I like to be under control. I like to control things like that. So not having that choice. But I guess what can you do but surrender to it? You know what I mean? You have to.
You have to surrender. And the thing is, I think, and this is probably the greatest lesson I've learned in here is that we think we have control, and certain things we do, like you have control if you get up and exercise in the morning, like sure. Right. But the bigger things you just really don't. And that's kind of where the magic happens. If you just let go of that obsession with suffocating something, that's when life just feels better.
Yeah, when it just becomes like easier and like, so I get it. What about like you and Sean? Have you guys had fights? Like, I would imagine being with David, like
I know you'd be so mad. You'd be like, I can't. And the problem is you can't go anywhere. I mean, I've had a few panics, like like maybe 3 times. And it's just because like I feel anxious and I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But like we've only had one fight, and the fight was about he just disappeared into the bedroom and started working for 2 hours. And I just felt like you need to communicate with me what you're doing because, we have like who's doing what and when are you doing what, so that we both know what we're doing. I just felt like, from me, it felt like he wasn't respecting what I was doing because he didn't tell me what he was doing.
So like you felt like he wasn't like respecting like your time and like what you needed.
Yeah, and
to
it's just
do
we're in
and-
quarantine, so like I only get small. I don't mind if he works for 10 hours. Just tell me.
Yeah, just give me a heads
And
up.
the thing is, he said to me that I changed the plan, which I did. So I think because we're also potty training in here.
Oh, great. That's
so
fun.
I was like, you need to tell me, you need to tell me what you're doing. So I need to know who's on the potty duty. So that's the only thing we fought about.
How's that going?
Well,
Oh my God.
do you remember potty training, Bray?
Well, no, here's what happened. Now this I
Did it at school?
No, you know what happened? I'm so grateful. David's sister, my husband's sister, is this amazing, like Mary Poppins-esque, like child specialist. She's also a nurse. Like she taught and ran a daycare for years. We went on a work trip to Sundance for like, I think it was 7 days. We left. She wasn't potty trained. We came back. She was potty trained.
You are so fucking lucky.
So we skipped over the whole thing. I'm like,
that is not fair.
I know. Because I keep hearing these stories.
Because Phoenix was potty trained at school. So, I mean, she was kind of half potty trained. She wasn't really. They potty trained her at school. And so I didn't really even think it was a thing. But this is our second try. So we've been trying for 6 months. This is our second try. And this is the thing she does. Everyone gives me all this advice. They're like, take her clothes off. She does. Her clothes are off. Take her every 10 minutes. We've done that. Take her. And then some people say that's too much. So take her every 30 minutes. So we do that. And then some people were like, wait to let her tell you. So we've done that. Give her stickers and treats when she goes. We've done that. Make a big deal about it. We've done that. So we've kind of put her in the underwear. So she like soils herself and she doesn't like it. We've done that. The thing is, she has gone, like this morning, she woke up and she goes, I need to go pee pee, and went to the potty.
Oh, so maybe she is getting it then.
But then she'll just pee on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Like, so she'll do that, but then she'll also just pee on the floor, or she'll like go, I need to go poo poo on the potty, which is amazing. I scream and yell, and it's like give her treats and like, yay, sticker charts. And then I'll take her 30 minutes later and she won't go. And then 45 minutes later, she'll poop on the floor.
Oh no. Oh, so do you think maybe it's just, maybe she needs a little more time, like before, like maybe she's not quite there yet where she wants to do it?
The problem is, I don't know when we're going to have another spat of like this amount of time at home where she can have no clothes on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like life begins again.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you'll be going back to work, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, who's going to stay at home for 3 days? And they say 3 days. It's not. It's like 5 to 7 days. Like, who has that time?
Yeah, it's a full commitment. Like it's a full commitment. So what are you gonna? I don't know. What can you do? What have you not done yet? Do you think?
I've done everything. What I haven't done is like pooped in front of her and gone, "This is what it is."
That's
She'd probably
what
be
you
like,
have to do. That's it.
Or like pooped on the floor and been like, "This is a no. Don't poop on the floor. Poop in the potty." I don't know. I mean, look, I'm hoping that she's not 14 years old, like peeing her pants, but at some point she has to get it. I mean, I guess at school she has to get it.
Will she be starting school then in September? What is this?
We're not exactly, I know.
Wait, what is the school? Is the school year round there, or is it like?
So school in Australia starts January to December, which is kind of
got it.
What I feel like life should be like at the beginning of the year. Yay, Happy New Year! Yeah. Then school starts, and then Christmas. School's over. I feel like why isn't school like that? I don't know, but it is over here in Australia. It's like January to December is school here.
That's right, because it's your summer, so it's like the opposite. It's like summertime is like December, January, February.
Yes.
Ah, okay, I see. So like maybe once she starts school, they'll have more time to like the teachers, because I feel like all the preschool teachers are so amazing. Like they're so know amazing. How to do it.
Yeah.
They can do it.
Then I wonder if a lot of these schools you have to be potty trained before you go.
I think you can be like half potty trained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Or you just say, you're like, oh, she's potty trained. She's fine.
Like,
and then like fine. She poops on the floor. You're like, I don't know what happened.
You know what? I didn't see her do it.
I was like, she was potty trained at home. Yeah. And then they'll have to potty train her.
Oh my gosh. So you guys are doing that on top of like the whole quarantine thing, but you guys are going to be out next week, beginning of next week.
No,
right?
today's day 10, so we've got 4 more days.
Oh, so you guys are going to be out by the weekend.
Yes. But here's the
Oh,
thing. Everything's on lockdown.
shit,
So
you can't do anything really.
well, we're supposed to be filming, so hopefully we will be in this what they call it a travel bubble,
Okay.
which means that if you've hotel quarantined, you're
Mhm.
actually allowed to fly to certain places because you're in something called a bubble, which means that you have to prove that you've hotel quarantined for 14 days. You need 3 negative COVID tests. You need a form which shows that you've traveled directly from the hotel to the flight. So it's like a whole thing that you're allowed to do if you've hotel quarantined under strict regulations. But it's everything's just so up in the air because there's other place like so many places in Australia are on these different lockdowns that you have to like learn about what the rules are.
Oh, so like everybody has different roles, like in different parts of
Yeah.
the country.
And I haven't seen my parents since
Yeah,
obviously we
what do you
got here, and I
guys?
don't think we're going to see them for another month.
What
Yep.
are they?
Because
How?
if I'm allowed to go film,
Right.
they haven't done a 14-day hotel lockdown
Right.
quarantine. So my parents won't be able to until everything opens up and the borders open up.
And so, how far away are they from you now?
From like where we are right now,
Yeah,
like 20 minutes.
they're that
But
close.
yeah.
Oh my God, they should come to the window and like wave to you guys.
Yeah, it's so weird because we're so like behind the building that I don't even know how we could do that. But it's been
Yeah.
so sad. Like we can't see them. And then if I go film for a month, like, we
Yeah.
can't see them. And it's already been 2 years. So and I know that a lot of people are in the same situation. Like
Mhm.
they haven't seen their families for 2 years. And I definitely feel grateful that we're closer. We're
Yeah.
closer to see them, but we're still not seeing them yet.
That's so sad. But it is so amazing because that's actually what we've been doing here because I hadn't seen my family
Hmm.
in a year and a half. And so just having those in real life moments, like for the first time, especially with the kids, is
Hmm.
like, it just kind of brings a tear to your eye. You're just like, this is what it's all about,
Right.
like getting people together and hopefully everybody coming together safely. And,
Hmm.
it's just so nice.
What's happening in California? Because I heard that they took away masks and now masks are back.
Yes, masks are now back.
That was like 2 days of like going to the movies and being like, no masks in the movies, and then back to masks again. So what's going on?
I think that the CDC is recommending indoors because LA is such a populous like county. They're
Hmm.
recommending that people wear masks even if you're vaccinated indoors because of this new Delta variant
Yeah. Hmm.
that's supposed to be very aggressive and very contagious and you don't want to get it. So I guess it's a little scary because most of our young kids are not
Are not
vaccinated,
vaccinated.
right?
No, they are so at risk.
Yes, yes. So that, definitely worries me a bit, to see what this variant is and like, does it, because I don't know, kids so far have been pretty safe,
Hmm.
I think, with this
Hmm.
whole pandemic, but you never know. I mean, it could be that one of these variants is the one that, is really bad for them. So,
It's just so interesting that, I mean, not interesting, but just when we look back
mhm.
and go, wow, this really changed the course of so much, this pandemic. I mean, people
Yeah.
lost people moved,
Mhm.
people, didn't see, family members for years. I
Mhm.
mean, kids left schools and went to a different, it's so like it changed the course of so many people's lives.
Yes, it literally did. And think about when we look back to at the photos from like
Hmm.
in 10 years or something, and it's like our kids have grown up, and then, they're like, we have all these face masks on, and, we're at all these like outdoor places because nobody went indoors. And it's like
Hmm.
looking back, it's going to be a trip, to
Yeah.
think that we kind of went through this and hopefully we'll get through it sooner rather than later.
Someone told me in 2020 it's going to be
Mhm.
3 to 4 years, and I was like, there's no way, but it's already been.
Yes.
It's like soon it'll be 2 years,
Mhm.
and I think there's going to be a version of what we've experienced for quite a while. Like even Australia, if they
Mhm.
are wanting to bring vaccines here and saying, at some point it has to have a certain amount of people vaccinated for everything to open up, that's going to take some time, which means that when we leave Australia, I don't know when I'll see my parents again because I don't know how easily it'll be for us to come back and quarantine for 2 weeks, or even if we'll be allowed to. And then my parents, I can't expect for them to leave and then them have to quarantine for 2 weeks. It's
Yeah.
costly, and it's,
Mhm.
it's hard for people. And I don't know if people are going to want to do that.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. I mean, yeah, because once they get their vaccine, they would have to do that another quarantine probably, right? So it's
Hmm.
like, and another thing too, I've noticed like a lot of people's parents, which makes me kind of sad, is that a lot of people I've been seeing, including my own parents, have aged a lot in the
I
pandemic,
know. I
you
know.
know? And it's like a year and a half and 2 years, and it's like they are already getting older, but it's like with the
Hmm.
stress of everything that we've been through, it's
Yeah,
just made it like so much harder to see them, because you lose time with them. And that's
of course.
another, that's
And that's
another
what they
thing.
look forward to. And it's,
Yeah.
when I feel like you age faster when you don't have a lot of hope, or
Mhm.
you don't have things to look forward to. Your
Right.
brain isn't active. And when you're just sitting at home and you don't have those moments that give you that sort of euphoria with your kids and your grandkids, um,
Mhm.
that definitely starts to age them faster. And,
Mhm.
what I don't think, well, the older population
Mhm.
is the most at risk.
Mhm.
And think about the stress
Yeah.
of what that would do if you know that if you got this, that it's very likely that it would be pretty bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
just imagine what that would
Mhm.
do to your mental health.
Yeah, definitely took a toll. I feel like on a lot of people's parents, is like you're saying, their mental health,
Hmm.
their ability to live like kind of independently, in the sense of like, okay, I want to go travel, so I'm gonna book a flight to New York or Los Angeles or wherever they want to go. It's
Hmm.
like taking away those key things that gave them that sort of like independence, and gives
Hmm.
them that will to like live, because they are getting older, their bodies are getting older. I can't imagine that it feels as good as the years
Hmm.
go by. So it's
Yeah.
like when you start taking those things away from them, it's like they go into like a depression, and it like affects
Yeah.
them. And I'm sorry, but we've had so many experts on the show talk about how mental and physical health are so tied together, like they're so
Hmm.
related. So if your mental health is declining, eventually your physical health is going to decline, and vice versa.
Yeah. I've found it really hard to like get back in shape since this
Oh,
pandemic. And
yes.
it's not a weight thing. I keep saying that. Like, I don't have to be a certain weight to be happy, but
Hmm.
I have no desire or motivation to push myself physically, exercise wise. And when I do, I feel better mentally. Like, I don't feel good if I just go for a little, oh yeah, sure, I go for a walk, I'll feel okay. But if I
Hmm.
go for like a hard run or a boxing class or some good weights, like those endorphins really fill my body. And I do get that, calm, euphoric, present, feeling that I
Yeah.
don't really get from just like a light, walk. And I'm just not finding myself wanting to push through. I'm just like, I just don't have the desire, you
Yeah,
know?
we have lost that motivation, Tammin.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I don't have
remember
the motivation.
remember 2 years ago, you and I, we would
I
go to
just had a
workout
baby and I was like
classes.
getting back in
Yeah.
shape. I was like, this is
Yes.
great.
No, we were like so good. We would go and meet at like Pilates or like Potty
Mm-hmm.
class or whatever. And it's like, because that hasn't been happening, like, I don't know, in LA, it like took a while to kind of get fitness classes back up. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's like we've been not doing it for so long. It was like sort of hard to get back into it. But like you lose that motivation. Like I have lost that motivation to like, go and like do that and be able to go and work out, and like even
Mm-hmm.
though I know how good it's going to make me feel in the end, and how worth it is for my
Yeah.
health, I just like lost that motivation, and I want to get it back, but it's
I know.
hard.
I hope I will, because I feel
Yeah.
like I've gotten to a point where maybe I know, and I know your muscles can definitely snap back, and they do
Right.
have that recognition,
Hmm.
but I feel like maybe maybe it's been too long for them to remember what that feels like. Because yeah, like my abs since I had a baby have like just, and your abs aren't just for vanity. Your abs are really something that's necessary to keep tight just for your back and to be able to hold yourself up and your shoulders and everything. Like your core is so important. And I feel like I've lost so much of that since having a kid. And then now it just doesn't seem to be, able to get that strength back. But you know what? Again, I go back to the positive. I do believe in manifestation. I believe in positive mindsets. And I think that if we just look at the positives that came out of this, because there's obviously so many negatives, the positives, the more time we've spent with our families, the more self-reflection we've had, the quiet noise that we've able to live in for a while. So it's not just been about rush, next step, maybe change jobs, maybe change places to live. I mean, for us, we left and went around America to see if there was something more that we could have with the things that we wanted. And it's changed a lot of people's lives. And I think, maybe we'll look back at this and be like, oh, that happened for the reason for my family because of this,
Yeah, it's good to look at the positive. It's hard though, it's
it is hard,
right? I want to look at the positive a lot of the time, but it feels like Groundhog Day a lot of the time. And I just, I lose motivation, but you're right. I mean, you have to keep looking towards like the future and know that this is like going to pass, right? Like this is only temporary. We're not always going to be like in a pandemic, So it's a good point. It's a good point to keep looking, forward and manifesting and think about what you do want,
I think a lot of us suffer. I do from destination happiness. Like when I get here, I'll be happy. When I get this house, I'll be happy. When I have this relationship, I'll be happy. When I have this, I'll be happy. And so what that does is it really robs us of, the happiness we can experience right now. And I know that you're like, where's Tammin? Where is she gone? But it's only because I've been trying to put this into practice the last couple of months, if not 6 months. And it's like, we think that the big job, right? You look at someone that you look up to, and I promise you, the person who got the X huge deal, and it's a big financial deal. Yes. At some point when your basic needs are met, money doesn't necessarily make a person happier, even though we think it does. When you have shelter, when you have food, when you have enough money, so you're not stressing every single day about every single cent. Once you're past that point, there isn't a lot, and there's been studies done on this that makes you that much happier. And I think that we think that, oh, you'll get that certain job and then you'll be happy. And Matthew Perry said the scariest thing is when I got everything that I wanted. I got money, I got success, I got creativity, whatever it was that he wanted. And he said, and I still was depressed. That was the scariest day of my life.
Oh my gosh, I bet.
He had it all. He was getting $1 million an episode and he was miserable.
That just goes to show you sometimes it's more money, more problems too. It's like, you've got a lot of, you think things are going to be solved with money, especially. And, if it truly won't make you happy. Sure. Maybe in the temporary, but not.
And when your basic needs, I do think that when your basic needs are met, like if you don't have a place to like sleep, I do think having a place to sleep makes you happier. If you don't have food to eat, I do think that having food to eat obviously makes you happier. To make sure your kids have health care. These basic needs, when you have those things, I do think that they make you happier. But then I'm not exactly sure from then on.
Yeah. What more do you actually need, Except maybe Brad Pitt and a little sandwich.
You can't buy him, Roxy. You can't buy his love.
Are you sure?
We should have someone who's like a billionaire or a 100 millionaire on this show and just ask those questions. Like, does it make you happier just when you keep earning money? Like, is that what drives you?
Yes, we need to manifest Richard Branson. Let's get him on. Richard Branson.
And I think Richard Branson's happy because he got to a point in his life where he started, and he says this, he started doing a lot of giving back and a lot of charity, because at some point it doesn't make you happy. And he's like, well, what does is like public service and charity work and community, that's what starts to fill up your cup.
Mhm.
And that's what he started to do at a certain point of his career.
Yeah, I agree. I think, he truly serves others, and you can see that in, his character and in the work he does. And I think that's what also separates him from other people of his like financial means and stature, is that he's always looking to do something for somebody else. He's always looking to do something for somebody else, and it's not about him anymore, because I mean, once you reach that level too, how can it be about you, just you,
No.
right? Because you reach a point where it's like, okay, like how many hundred,
How much more do you need?
yeah, how much more do you need? How much more do you need?
So what's next for you in Dallas? Are you going back to La La Land?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be going back to
It's a heat wave, right?
Yes, it's hot AF there too. But it's dry
Right.
heat, so it's like not the humidity that as you can see, I'm very shiny right now.
Your balls are
Hair.
sweating.
Yes, my balls
I want to
are
see your
sweating.
sweaty balls. I want to see your sweaty balls.
I'll FaceTime you after this. How about you, madam? What's next after
what's
quarantine?
next in my next 4 days of quarantine? So we'll be here for 4 days, and then hopefully, if everything goes to plan, I will be shooting. I've got a few it's weird because like I just spoke to our publicist yesterday. It's like, what am I allowed to say? What am I not allowed to say? I'm shooting a couple of projects here in Australia, which means that I could be here for a couple months. I could be here for longer than that. So, I will be on set pretty soon, and I will be able to share with everyone what we're doing. But the exciting things is people will be able to see these projects. And
Yes.
And that's the most important thing for me, because I've been out of filming for so long because of COVID, and I was pregnant and then had a newborn. So it's been like 3 years. So I just want people to see new work that I've done. And that's what makes me excited.
And what also makes me excited is if you get to have a love scene. And remember,
I do have love scenes. I've got a love scene in every project I'm doing.
Woo!
Well, I don't know if it's like the first project is kissy kissy. The second project I think might be a love scene. The other one I think is kissy kissy. So I don't think there's like, I don't know.
You missed out the first go round with all the kissing scenes, remember?
No, I can't do it to my husband. Wait, have you seen that show Sex Life?
No.
On HBO, have you heard about it?
No.
It's with that girl, Sarah. I can't pronounce her last name. She's been in lots of shows. She's always plays the lead. She's actually a really good actress. I don't know if I love the scripts. I think the scripts could be a little more solid, but I mean, they go there. You see full nudity.
For like both people.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not sure. I've only watched the first couple of episodes, but I know that you see full male nudity, and you see. I mean, it's really sexually intense. And I'm like, interesting.
Is there one male lead, or is it like revolving?
There's a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's called Sex Life. So I guess in the contract is like, you have to show full nudity.
Would you do
Which is
that?
interesting because I would do that if I had her little body. Yeah.
Oh, come on. You can do that, girl.
Maybe when I start working out and getting the motivation back, then I would do that. Look, I mean, and this is what my husband said. He was like, yeah, like if I was in good, the shape I would like to be, because I'm actually putting the effort in, I'd be like, you and I are like nudists.
Yeah.
We love to be naked.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I'd be like, everybody look here.
Come see this. Come see it now. No, I have I don't feel ashamed about the female form at all. I think it's so super beautiful and good on you. Like I always say to you, like, we see guns and violence all the time and such graphic images that we just don't even think about. And yet you see a nipple or a sex scene, it's like, oh my goodness, when it's so natural. Like the body is so beautiful. It's so natural that I think we need to see less violence and more of that.
Yes, but particularly in America, because it's such a more puritanical culture that it's like people don't really want to see like, the sex and like what goes on in the bedroom. But like you're saying, we'll see guns and violence and all kinds of things like on camera here,
I remember seeing a James Bond movie and I was like, okay, that guy's literally head just got chopped off. And then you would see the woman and like they made sure that the nipple was covered by a perfect sheet. I was like, we literally just saw a head chopped off. Like we literally just saw someone's head roll down the train, you know? But it's an interesting mentality.
Yeah, it's a really interesting mentality. I'm excited to see all these projects you've got going on though.
Don't worry, I will not be doing nudity like that. Don't you worry. I don't know. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Just for you. When you show me your sweaty balls, I'll show you my full nudity.
Like I said, I'm gonna FaceTime you after this.
Yeah, I really do. We'll put it on this. We'll put it on the show. We'll be like, and we'll insert the picture of your sweaty balls.
So it'll be great. Everyone will love it.
Well, it's so nice talking to you, Roxy. It's made my quarantine day go a little faster. So thank you. Day 10.
So glad. I know. I'm so glad to see that you are in fact alive in quarantine.
Yeah. I'm like, I was kind of pissed that no one was checking on me. I was like literally, is anyone going to be like, hey, how you doing? Are you okay? Are you alive? Like no one even, I think it's because America's been on quarantine.
Yeah.
But it's a different type of quarantine because you can't actually leave. But yeah, I think everyone's just over it in the States. So no one just cares about us over here.
Everyone's like, we are done, you know?
Yeah, we don't want to talk about quarantine.
Yeah. We are over it. Well, I can't wait to see how it turns out these last few days. I mean,
I know. And thanks guys for following along the journey and asking for this extra episode. Not extra episode, this episode. And then we'll probably have to have an extra episode too, maybe coming up soon. We should again try to be doing maybe 2 a week, Rox.
Yeah, we need to do it, girl. Let's get on it. I'm in.
Well, thanks guys so much. And you can follow us on Women on Top Official on Instagram.
And Women on Top podcast on Facebook. And Women on Top, our group on Clubhouse.
Yes, and don't forget to rate, subscribe, and comment. We love you. And I am Tammin Sursock from Quarantine.
And I am Roxy Manning from Sweaty Dallas.
And we are
Women on